Let's welcome on board, of course, Rohit Srivastava, the founder of Strike Money Analytics and India Charts as well. Rohit, hi, good to be speaking with you. That's the first question. Is this recovery something that we should be excited about and believe that a floor has been made, or there's still time to perhaps factor that in?
No, my sense is that this might just be a counter trend bounce, which means it's just a retracement of the fall that we have seen over the last 5 days. And possibly there could be more downside risk in the days ahead because we are not done with what appears to have started as a sell-off in global equities on the back of rising bond yields. I don't think that trend is completely over, and which is why I think further pressure will build up in the days to come. But we did get extremely oversold in the very, very short term, and a 1 to 2 day bounce back is a good thing, which will sort of relieve that very short term pressure. But overall, I think this remains a sell on rise market, and you will see lower levels in the days ahead.
That's the kind of nature of the market that Rohit is envisaging at this point of time. But Rohit, what about the strength that we have seen in the metal counters? It's been going very well. Individual names also seeing quite a bit of traction. What's your view on metals as well as IT?
Well, IT is the opposite of metals, right? It's been one of the worst performing sectors for this period. If we simply draw line of the last 6 months, it's broken in the last 2 3 days, which further confirms that there's a larger degree bearishness for the IT sector. Though again here in the short to even maybe medium term, it is beginning to look like it's a little oversold. We are sort of overdone as we are heading into this earnings season. So I should be prepared for some kind of positive surprises from the IT sector. And that could maybe result in a bounce back in IT stocks in the 1 2 3 week kind of time horizon. So I do think there's a case for IT doing some kind of a near term outperformance to the market because it has gotten oversold because of the excessive one-sided selling that has been going on over there. Now on the other side, you have metals, typically a sector that is weak when the dollar is rising or bond yields are rising. But this time around, sort of that's been ignored, and the metals have actually done pretty well. But I've sort of remained cautious on the metal side, even though it's done well simply because of those other macro trends that usually keep us on the right side. So I'm simply observing what's happening on the metal side, but I think there could be an opportunity on the tech side in the weeks ahead.
There. And what's the view on some of these telecom names which have been buzzing around, right from an Indus Tower to an Airtel? They are excited today. Vodafone, of course, continues to be in news. Any view within the telecom sector?
No, I have not really been tracking telecom that closely, so I don't really have a view there.
Get a bit more stock specific and talk about Reliance Industries itself, because that stock has been a bit soft, but today of course it's coming back a bit. And then of course Jio Financial Services, the other one which is doing quite well for itself. I know Jio, you have very limited history, but for Reliance, any word?
So Reliance Industries, it broke out of its very, very long congestion zone earlier this year. And that sort of gotten interest back in the stock, which is when it actually got past the 2800 mark. Now 2800 therefore becomes an important support to watch as and when there is a pullback. If it manages to stay above that, overall you would still think that the trend is positive. But can it pull back to 2800? Yeah, if there is a market correction like I'm really talking about, then possibly it could test 2840, 2800 is what we are thinking. But just to give a disclaimer, since I'm mentioning about stocks, we don't really give advice. This is just my observation on the charts of Reliance Industries.
That's well taken, but just on the observational front, if you can talk to us about what looks interesting to you right now from chart patterns, anything that stood out to you in terms of a very good strength in any chart or big weakness across any name?
So we will look for opportunities on the sell side as and when markets turn higher. And the easy segment to target there is the weakest one, which has been financials in terms of not performing that well on the upside. Of course, they haven't fallen like the IT sector, but because the IT sector has already fallen a lot, I wouldn't, like I already mentioned, that wouldn't be the space to look for shorting opportunities right away. But in banking, I think once we get this bounce over the next 1 to 2 days, I will look for opportunities over there across, the stocks based on what the setups are. So I can't really name anything right now, but I think financials would be the target.
Financials is one space that you should look out for opportunities. Thanks, Rohit, for making time and speaking with us as always.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.